Well, this is video for adding an auxiliary input into a car that doesn't have an auxiliary input. In this case, this is for a Toyota Seqoia. It also applies for the Tundra. It is the same, but one with the box seat, the other one besides SUV. But it is the same chassis and dashboard and everything. This is not a especially dedicated tutorial for adding Bluetooth. I'm using Bluetooth as example, but you can use any external MPT player. I'm gonna leave you the link for another video where I add a Bluetooth module to an old stereo here. So in order to remove the stereo, you have to pull these bands, and there are two screws. Be very careful not to drop the screw under ventilation, and gently with your hands make pressure and pull this dash away from the dashboard. Be very careful not to break it. I believe there are 6 clips holding this, so it's going to be a little bit tough, but again, be gentle not to break it. And now you have it. Next, with socket number 10, you are going to pull this 4 screw. This is standard in all Toyota stereos. This Seqoia has a premium sound that comes with external JBL, but you cannot use this amplifier with other cars that are not Toyotas, and the same for the stereo. You cannot use these kind of stereos with other Toyotas that has no premium sound or external JBL amplifier. It's very complicated to make some adaptation. This stereo was already had a Bluetooth connection. I removed it in order to show you how I did this one, because I also wanted to repair a cable that I left in the wild there, and I was afraid that it's going to short something. So in the meanwhile, I'm gonna show you how to disassemble this stereo. Some people think that well, you got it easy because you just plugged your device directly to the amplifier, but that doesn't work that way with those Toyota's JBL stereos, because the stereo has a special communication like ICANN2 bus or something like that orders the amplifier how to up the volume and make regulations to the sound. That process is not taking place in the stereo. If you have a stereo with amplifier integrated, you just find the input for the amplifier circuit and you just put your inputs in there. But this is not the case with this Toyota JBL premium sound. And the amplifier is not very powerful. I believe it's like a 20 or 40 RMS watts per channel. If you remove this cover on the CD, you are going to find this circuit, the little circuit, where you can see they mark it where is the right channel and the left channel. This is the left channel, LCH, and here you have the right channel, and you got it marked like as right RCH. From here you can interrupt the lines that came from the CD and just have this, but in this case when you put something on these inputs, it's going to override what's coming from the CD player. It happens with the Prius also and some other stereos of this kind. But in this case, I'm not going to interrupt the lines. I'm just going to add the Bluetooth here or the auxiliary input in here. And whenever the CD is playing, if the Bluetooth or the auxiliary input is playing something, it's going to override the CD. Also, If you want to add the auxiliary input into the tape player, you can just follow the head of the tape player to the board, and whenever those cables attach, there's your input. You can you can just solder some cables in here and you have your auxiliary input. But if you have a tape player, it's easy to just buy a cassette with an auxiliary input and you can attach your Bluetooth there. There's even some adapters that already have the Bluetooth in the cassette adapter, but just so you know. So under certain circumstances, you are going to be listening to the CD player and also what's coming from the auxiliary input. On those cases, you can just record a CD with no music, like only playing silence. That way the CD player is going to be playing no audio, and you are going to be able to use the auxiliary input, because if the stereo does not detect a disc, it's not going to select that input. In order to extract the voltage for the 5 volts, it uses the Bluetooth. Disassemble one of these adapters for the car. You can grab them at AM/PM or 7-Elevens, Walmart, things like that. You disassemble this device and remove the ports, and you can just input your 12 volts here, and you're gonna get 5 volts in the back. You can connect there the power for your Bluetooth device. In this case, if you are going to use a Bluetooth device, if you are just going to use it on as auxiliary input, forget about this. I searched for some connections to see if we have already the 5 volts on the board, and I found it in this circuit is market 15601. It's an operational amplifier and it has 5 volts in the pin number 1. I just hook up a cable in there with the positive for the Bluetooth, and this way I could eliminate the external adapter. This is the one that I'm going to use for this case. Again, this is only if you are adding the Bluetooth inside the stereo. If you are going to add it via external adapter, you forget about this. So once connected, you click on the pairing button and you are going to see it on your phone. Touch it and it's going to connect it. Now you see how the LED changed from a steady red to blinking red and blue. It means it is connected. Now let's try some music in there. I think it sounds very good. You can make calls, that depends on the model you bought, but this is the basic of how to add the auxiliary input. I'm using it again with a Bluetooth here, but you can use it with any other device. Also, I'm making this video how to improve the sound on the Toyota FJ Cruiser. I installed this JBL audio subwoofer and this amplifier. Sounds horrible. The subwoofer is not worthy, or the box of the FJ Cruiser. I had to repair this amplifier. Input was open, the ground, and also one of the MOSFETs I had to replace. I had to disassemble all the stereo in order to track the problem with here. As you can see, it's turning on but didn't have sound. So once I replaced the MOSFET, it was working fine. And again, I tried also with other speakers, but didn't seem to work well with the FJ Cruiser. I don't know if it's because of the box or the subwoofer. Here's the amplifier I already finished. I tested, I put it on the FJ Cruiser. I even tried with a Bose Expert Tire subwoofer. I also tried this other subwoofer, a lot huge than the JBL. But at the end, the original amplifier and subwoofer on the FJ Cruiser make the trick. It is the best sound I could get from this. But thank you very much for watching my videos.
Ah.